The next property we want to look at is whether a system is linear or not. Linear systems obey the principle of superposition. This just means that when I apply the sum of two signals, okay, each of them scaled by a different factor, then the output that I get, if the system is linear, will be the same as applying the first signal to the system, applying the second signal to the system, scaling the outputs, and adding them up. Okay, that's the principle of superposition. If this holds, then the system is linear. Diagrammatically, we can illustrate this like this. So this little diagram corresponds to this one. You take some input, you multiply that, you scale that with some factor alpha. You take another input, you scale that with some factor beta. You sum them up. The arrow here is the inside of the braces here. Then you apply the system and you get some output. If the system is linear, then that would be the same as doing the following. Taking your one input x1n, first passing it through my system, the squiggly t, okay, getting some output, then scaling that output with a factor alpha. That's the one kind of branch. The other branch, we take x2n, our second signal, apply that through our system, pass it through our system, multiply that with a factor beta. Then we take these two, we sum them up, and that gives us the output of our system. If my system is linear, then this should be the same as this. And this diagram is just the same as what happens here. So you have my system applied to x1, that's the point there, times alpha, that's the point there. On the other branch, my input x2 applied through my system, so I get squiggly t with x2 as input. I scale that with beta, I add them up, and I get my output y. Okay, linear system, this would be the same as this. You can actually generalize this. If this is true, then this will also be true. So this looks like a humongous equation, but it's really just simple. It's just saying that if I have capital N inputs and I scale each of them and I pass that through the system, that should be the same as taking each of the capital N inputs, passing them through the system separately first, then scaling them and then adding them up. And this is a property that we'll actually use in the rest of this course. Because linear systems are nice, we can characterize them quite accurately. A lot of real systems in the real world out there aren't actually linear. But sometimes we cheat and just pretend that they're linear. Okay, so let's just do a few examples to make sure that this sticks in. This is actually our friend from before. And the question is this discrete time system, is that linear or not? Okay, so how we do this is we're just going to take the system and we're going to pass through in our heads or on a piece of paper, we're going to pass through an added up signal, which is the combination of x1 weighted by alpha with x2 weighted by beta. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll just stick this into the definition. So anywhere where we have an xn, we are now going to replace it with that monstrosity. Okay, so we have n times, and xn is now the monstrosity, x1n plus beta x2n, and then we'll just multiply that out. So we end up with alpha n x1n plus beta n x2n. Okay, so that's the one side of the superposition equation. Now we just need to prove whether or not that is the same as doing this. And that's actually pretty easy, because if I take squiggly t x1n and I multiply that with alpha, then what I get is, well, everywhere where, okay, I keep the alpha, and then everywhere where I have an x in this equation, I replace that with the x1. So I have n x1n. Okay, and if you stare at that for a second, you will see that that is exactly the same as that. So we have alpha squiggly t x1n plus beta, and then same idea applies there, x2n. And so the result of this is, yes, this is a linear system. So this is important. If you remember from before, this is actually a time variant system. So You can have time variant linear systems. Okay, that's just important to know. We'll get to linear time invariant systems, which is really where we're aiming at. Those systems are really nice, linear time invariant systems, but we'll get there in a second. Okay, next one. Is this one a linear system, x2n? Same thing. So what we do is we just apply the one side of the superposition equation. And what we do is everywhere where we have an x, we now have the whole thing in braces here. So this is equal to alpha x1n plus beta x2n, and then that whole monstrosity squared. Okay? So you can multiply this out. It's alpha squared x1n, that thing squared, plus 2 alpha beta x1n times x2n, and then the square of that last term. So that's beta 2 x2 squared n. This is the one side of the superposition equation. What does the other side look like? So the other side, we have alpha squiggly t 1n plus beta squiggly t x2n, and this is equal to, now everywhere where there's an x, we now have x1 in that case. So here we've got alpha, then we've got x1 squared, then the second term is beta times x2 squared. Okay, and this is the other side. Okay, 2. And the question is this equal to this? In general, no. Okay, so this is not equal to 1, and this means that this is not linear. I mean, the clue was in the square, because normally if you take the square of something, it's not linear, but now we've proven that this system is actually not linear.